This is Frank Islam, Chairman and CEO of FY Investment Group, and your host of Washington Calling, where we interview leading voices from business, from politics that impact you, the viewer. Today, we are fortunate to have a distinguished guest who's a dear friend. His name is Sam Pitroda. He's an internationally and well respected telecom inventor, entrepreneur, and policymaker, known by many as the father of the Indian telecom revolution, who worked to make telephones available to even the most remote part of the rural India. And he also received Padma Bhushan Award in the year 2009. So thank you for coming to also, Sham, and thank you for your leadership, and thank you for all you do to make a difference in people's
You are very
lives.
generous.
You
Thank you.
are you are changing the world. So tell us a little bit about your life story and journey, which to me and for the global audience is remarkable and fascinating, not only in the United States but India as well. Please tell us your story. Which part of it do you treasure the most?
I was born and raised in a small little tribal village in Orissa. Went to college in Baroda and then came to US in 1964. I've been in Chicago for 55 years. I've learned a lot in this country. I have benefited a great deal financially, professionally, emotionally. I have a very large family now in the US. And then I got to connect with India in early 80s when Rajiv Gandhi was
The Prime
getting into
Minister.
politics. And then he
Right.
became prime minister, and I had an opportunity to work with him for almost 10 years to plant seeds for telecom and IT. In the process, I also got to work with him on technology missions related to literacy, immunization, edible oil, milk production, literacy. And those were the most interesting and exciting days for me, where we could bring telephone to every village through STDPCOs. We develop human capacity with young Indian engineers to build the base for IT that you see today. I always say that when I started my work in India, we had 2 million telephones. Today, we have over a billion phones in India, just in a short span of 30 years. And we
Correct.
also generate $150 billion worth of software export every year, year after year. My second important phase in life in India was when I had an opportunity to work with Dr. Manmohan Singh on National Knowledge Commission, Digital
Right.
India, and innovations. That was my interesting period recently. So I would say those two were the most interesting periods, beside having worked in America, filing a lot of patents, raising family here, earning money here to be able to do things I did in India. So I would say I've been very lucky to be at the right place at the right time.
You have been uniquely blessed, right?
Thank you.
Is America that provided you the letters of opportunity to succeed? Is America's inclusiveness and openness that provided me the opportunities to succeed? These are the values and the strength and qualities America all of us can proudly and truly embrace, right?
No question about it. This is really American dream. What I have lived is an American dream. Come here with
And
$40 in your pocket.
that's something missing in India. We'll talk about it in a minute. You were known to be very close to Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, and you mentioned that several times uh, during our conversation. Tell us about Rajiv Gandhi, because you're very close to him, his contributions to India's growth during his tenure as the Prime Minister of India.
Rajiv Gandhi brought in a fresh, young, technology based vision to India. He was full of energy, He had a vision to take India into 21st century with little more dignity, more literacy, more connectivity, more export. And he had this idea of liberalizing Indian economy. He believed in privatization, liberalization, free market economy, but he also knew that India will take its own time to get. He was man in a hurry, and he provided to many people like me political will required to do the things that we had to do. I thought he was one of the finest leaders to work with. Unfortunately,
He was assassinated.
yeah, he was
Unfortunately, he was assassinated.
he was
Yeah,
he lost his life too early,
right.
you know,
I agree with you totally. He
and
was a great,
we all miss him. I think India
yes.
can never recover from that. And then when he died, a lot of things went into tailspin, unfortunately.
And
But that's life.
well, but you need to speak up and step up to make sure that India remains a global beacon of hope for democracy. As we understand, you also have a close link with the Congress Party. What do you think of the future of the Congress Party, and especially the fact what's going on in terms of the violence and the riots against the Muslims in Delhi and other parts of India? And what will be the impact on BJP and Modi's Hindu nationalism? Do you believe that there is a hope for the Congress Party, because Congress Party has always been inclusive and always believed in, as the Gandhi and Nehru believed in, secularism, a tolerant and inclusive society. And when you together, you can help shape a better future for India. Please comment on it.
First of all, Congress Party is a grand old party with over 130 years of long history. Congress Party stands for certain values. Congress Party believes in truth, trust, love, inclusion, diversity,
Very well.
secularism, bottom-up development, democracy, freedom. These are so very fundamental values. And when these values are challenged, these values are eroded, it bothers us. Growing up in India, in a small little tribal village, I lived in an environment where we were 8 brothers and sisters, and right in front of our house, within 20 feet, was a Muslim family. With, again, they had 5 brothers and 3 sisters. Next to it was Sardar. Next to it was Jain Marwadi family. Back of it was Oriya. And we all lived in peace and harmony. We all enjoyed each other's diversity. We celebrated everybody's event. Kids moved around, played together. That is the India that I had dreamt of. What I see today bothers me a great deal. There is no way you can build India, according to me, if you do not focus on freedom, democracy, inclusion. It will affect economy. And you see that today, that you cannot build Indian economy if you divert your attention from the core values.
Correct.
You can do it
Very
somewhere
well
else.
said.
You can't do it in India.
Right. Right.
And what you see today in terms of lack of jobs, lack of growth, has a lot to do with losing our focus from democracy, inclusion, secularism, pluralism, diversity, and all that. If you don't have peace, you don't have prosperity. It's that simple.
Very well
So
said.
Congress Party will come back. Congress Party will survive. people will understand what is good for India in the long run. These are little perturbations in the history of a nation. Probably it's a small little glitch, but it affects large number of people. And I think we have lost a decade, personally, if you ask me. So I am very disturbed. I am very concerned with what's going on. Plus, you need people with good personal track record to
Hmm.
run a nation. Today, leadership is more about character and
Very well
not
said.
about lies and gossips and PR. We believe
And fake
leadership is
news.
all about marketing.
Right.
Okay. Leadership is not about marketing. Leadership is about character. It's about values. It's about wisdom. It's about belief. And that's what is missing today. But people don't understand. So more power to people. They'll figure it out later on. But in the process, a lot of damage would be done. What can I say? A lot of that is going on even in the US.
Yes.
Rise of populism,
White
leaders lying
supremacist.
and
Right.
leaders lying and,
Right.
using social media to promote, false propaganda.
Fake news.
All that
Right.
to me is a response to connected world. See, I have a theory. I'm just finishing a book on this. I believe for the first time in the human history, we are all connected. All 8 billion people are connected. Never happened before in the history. This invention of connectivity is more like fire, more like agricultural revolution. And the world doesn't know how to deal with connectivity. Connectivity is changing everything we do. It is changing our culture, our business, our products, our processes, our governance. And what I see today is a knee-jerk reaction to connectivity. A lot of these people are afraid that in connected world, global world, we have no place. So they want to go to nationalism. They want to go to religion, as opposed to opening their arms and say, world is one. Because at the end of the day, two things really matter in life. One, people, irrespective of their race, religion, color, belief, doesn't matter. They are people. You got to respect them. You got to love them. You got to care for them. You got to celebrate their diversity. And two, planet, environment, ecosystem, animals, trees, air, water. These two things matter. The rest of the stuff is irrelevant. And people don't understand that we need to survive together. I can't survive if you don't survive. I can't
Right.
flourish if you don't flourish. So it's a wrong notion that I want to be rich and I don't want anybody else to be rich.
Right.
World has to grow. We need to work on Africa. We need to work on, many other parts of the world, as opposed to
Right.
fight on petty things. Look what is happening with coronavirus today.
Right.
It is
It's
affecting
affecting the
humanity.
global economy. Right.
Absolutely. Virus does not distinguish between, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Sikh,
Right.
Jewish. They don't. Okay, these things are global.
It
So we have
transcends
to
all
deal with it.
boundary or religion. As you
Exactly.
said, it transcends all boundary or religion.
And that's what
I
bothers
wanted to talk
many
to
of.
you. I wanted to ask you another question. Before I ask questions, let me inject and infuse my own view. The attack on one faith is attack on all faith. When we attack each other, people based on their caste, creed, religion, or race, we are tearing apart the harmonious fabric of any country, of a nation. And that's a very sad and selfish and shameful. And I'll hope that you speak out and speak up. And I know you look at the brighter horizon when you endure a storm, but it's a very it's a situation that we all need to be concerned, alarmed. Am I correct,
You
Sam?
see, I am speaking out, but I find that people are not in the listening mode anymore. Nobody wants to listen. Everybody wants to broadcast. Social media has created whole generation that just wants to broadcast. We have lost the ability to listen. You look at Indian television. Everybody's talking at the same time. Nobody's listening.
Right. Right.
So it
And they're not
bothers me.
learning. They're
Yeah,
not learning
it's a
either.
very serious issue. We have stopped listening. And how do you scream and send your message in an environment where nobody is listening? So you have to back off a little bit. Let them sort it out. And then at the right time, speak up. Don't want to speak up in the noise. I have spoken up many times, even during last election, but it is misunderstood. It is twisted. It is propagated in a wrong way. It is propagated to divide people, not to unite people.
Very well said.
You know, and it's just the mindset, okay? And sometimes you wonder whether it is worth talking in an environment which is so polluted with hate. When I look at Congress values and what is going on in the India, I find total 180 degrees difference. I believe in truth. Today, people believe in lies. I believe in trust. People believe in mistrust. I believe in hate. I believe in love. They believe in hate. I believe in democracy. They believe in sort of, one-man rule. I believe in freedom. They want to curb freedom. They want to take revenge. They want to attack people. Okay, for whatever they say, whatever they do, they send income tax people and they go after you and they do all kinds of things. Okay, and that bothers me. And we are in a situation today where a lot of these things concern me. Okay.
Thank you very much, Sam. You're so eloquent in your expressions, and I hope that our audience who listens to you, they can learn from you. And you're right. People have a receiving antenna, but maybe they do not want to listen and learn from each other. And your
See,
points are so well taken.
when you and I talk, I have to listen to you. I have to be sympathetic. I have to be open. I have to be transparent. I can't just turn myself off. Okay. And I cannot have very rigid values. I got to be flexible. I got to be open. I got to be welcoming. All these things matter. And when you attack that core of humanity, you basically attack
The humanity.
humanity. You attack everything. You attack development. See, today, on one
Exactly
hand,
right.
all this stuff is going on in India, but the most important thing today is lack of jobs.
You're absolutely right that the conversation will be not towards hatred and bigotry, but the conversation should be what we can do together to fight against poverty, hunger, disease, ignorance, as well as job, economy, and give a hope to our young generation who has so much stake in the country.
But for that, you need peace.
And you need a leadership.
Without peace, there is no prosperity. And peace can
Very well
only
said.
come if you respect each other. Peace can only come if you open your arms and welcome everybody. Peace can only come when you don't promote hate. Peace can only come from love. Peace cannot come from hate. Peace can only come if you allow everybody to participate and not corner off for one group or the other. And these are very fundamental human issues. If you don't understand this, then there is no dialogue. You see, many times I feel that I cannot have conversation with people. Because to have conversation, you got to have some fundamental belief. If you don't have fundamental values, how can I have conversation with you? It's tough. And I don't want to get into arguments. So I don't
No.
even initiate conversation.
Very well said. Do you see? I want to ask you another questions, but before I ask you, do you see a brighter horizon for India as we
Of
move
course, I
forward in
see
our
better.
lifetime? Right?
India has survived thousands of years of history.
True. Right.
India has changed many, many times. India is the only country where you will see the kind of diversity world needs.
Right.
Multiple languages, multiple races. People in
Faith.
South look different from people in North. People in
Right.
East look more like Chinese. People in West
Right.
look very different. India has had many, many people come from outside. Mughals came, Greeks came,
Right. Right.
Portuguese came, French came, British came,
Right.
and
Right.
they all got assimilated. When Mughals came, they didn't just took everything from India and ran away. They settled. They lived there. They raised their families there. So it is everybody's land. This is how I
Very well
believe.
said.
Okay. It is a land
So
where everyone can flourish. It is a land
if they're
which is
given
blessed.
equal opportunity, they have
It
to
is
be
a
given
land which
equal
is blessed.
opportunity.
Plus, it is a land which is blessed with river like Ganga, where there is so much
That's
water
correct.
and fertile
Right.
land,
That's flowing.
so which will be
Yes.
enough for everybody. Okay.
Right. Very well said. So, Sam, I have two questions. Uh,
Please.
one, I ask you the first. You had a remarkable success story and journey. What is the advice for the young people in the audience who wants to be like you and who wants to change the conversations happening in India and around the world?
I advise, I wouldn't say advise, but I sort of tell people that the most important thing in life is to build a good self, a self that is respectful, self that is open, self that is wedded to certain fundamental values, ethics, truth, trust, love, concern for others, concern for minorities, concern for children, concern for women, older people. A good self is a starting point. If you cannot build good self and you build someone who is a cheater, liar, thief, it's a non-starter in the long run. So first advice is build good self. It takes long time. Doesn't happen overnight because we all have family background, cultural background, how we were brought up, where we were raised. So you have to examine all that. You have to go inside and say, what kind of a person I am? Am I really a good human being for the society? Do I treat others well? Do I respect others? Once you do that, then the next thing is love. You got to learn to love everybody. You got to learn to love what you do, from making your bed in the morning, to your food, to your paintings, to your clothes, to your friends. People who criticize you, you got to love them too.
Right?
So next thing is, after you build a good self, learn to love. Love your work, love your house, love your neighbor. Third thing is work. Make sure your life is work centric and not pleasure centric. And work is not about office work. Work is about community work, family work,
Very well
you
said.
know, homework, all kinds of work. I know
Right.
you don't have to work, but you work. You work because it needs to be done. And third thing is,
Agreed.
fourth, maybe first is self, love, work, and fourth is fulfillment. At
Fulfilled.
the end of the
Okay.
day, you have to be fulfilled. Saying, I had a good day. I made something worthwhile. I'm happy. I'm content. I don't need to compare. I don't need to compete. I don't need to be jealous. I have no envy. I'm okay. If other people believe I'm not okay, that's all right. But I'm okay. I think then your life would be interesting. Your journey would be simple. You won't get agitated. You won't have heartburns. And I think you will live a good life. That's my input.
Very well said. Uh, do you have anything else to the audience to say? And if you want to comment on the Trump's recent visit to India, and beside the large crowd, beside that he did not, there was no trade deal. It was more beneficial to him because he wanted to cater to the Indian Americans who can vote for him, who can contribute for his campaign. But they're all Democrats anyway, 78%. Trump did not even raise the issue of the religious freedom with Modi. So it's more symbolism than any substance. Do you have anything to say before we before we conclude our conversation, Sam?
No, first of all, I agree with you that the visit was more about PR exercise, media play. It had more forms than substance.
Right.
I have seen, and I've been a party to a lot of visits of the heads of state during Rajiv Gandhi's time, during Manmohan Singh's time. During Rajiv Gandhi's time, we had big visit from Gorbachev, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Rajiv came here and I was with him then. During Manmohan Singh's time recently, Obama came. It was not
Right.
a visit between Obama and Manmohan Singh. It was a visit between the head of states, President of US and Prime Minister of India, where lots of people participated. Obama didn't hang around just with Manmohan Singh. Even I had an opportunity to spend half an hour with Obama during his state visit. So the point is, and then we talked about Digital India. I gave him a tour. He and I chatted about it. So it was a visit between two nations and not between two individuals. It was a visit where a lot of other people participated, had access, had conversation, had views. Before the visit, there were a lot of interactions on energy, environment, technology. We launched a program on open government between Indian government and US government based on our conversation between Obama and myself. But people don't know these things. It's not about images, it is about substance. Unfortunately, this visit was more about PR and images, sound bites, photo ops, than real concrete work. But maybe that's how they planned. What can you do?
I guess so. Well, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for all you do. And this is Frank Islam wishing you a great week, and thank you for watching.